I went through a breakup and I was a really emotional guy that time. Like there was always a
Okay.
lot of sentiments. So I'm an Aries person and we are always very passionate and emotional. So
Hmm.
emotions were always there during this period. So there was my younger brother who's into science and he's like a very geeky one into gaming virtual life. So
Huh.
he was talking to me and he's like 6 years younger than me. So I was
Okay.
like, ये हो गया मेरे साथ ये हो गया, and he knew मेरा breakup हो गया, and he just told me one thing, that have you ever imagined the world is so big, you're just so tiny, and while you were born like you want to really do something that people will remember, or you really want to make a difference in life, or just cry over a girl. What do you want to do? Imagine.
Hi, hello, namaste to all my listeners. I'm your host, Sarthak Varshney, and I welcome you all to the Balls of Steel show, where you get an insight into the business mindset of the entrepreneurs. Dhandho ni Soch. Our today's guest is Mr. Hardik Chauhan. Hi, Hardik.
Hi, what's up?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Quarantine, but still working, so life is good.
Quarantine, still working. Life is good. Nice. Good to know that. Good to know that. Nice. So, Hardik, as we begin, like, what is the business that you are into because of which we're gonna say that you've got the balls of steel?
Uh, Business, basically, there are many business, but right now, the one which is new, the one which is my passion, that is digital marketing.
Okay. Okay. So you're basically running a digital marketing firm. Want to tell us something bit about it before we dive deeper?
So, talking about digital marketing, the first thing that comes to my mind is educating people that what is digital marketing, first of all. So, if we talk about digital marketing, a lot of people come to you as हम आपके followers बढ़ा देंगे, हम आपके subscribers बढ़ा देंगे, हम आपको likes दिला देंगे, or maybe let's just boost your post. That is digital marketing, but that is not. Basically, digital marketing is a huge thing right now because especially after pandemic, this is a digital era now, and everything would go digital. The malls are shut but sales are on only because of digital. So digital is a huge thing. We have Google, Facebook, and then every website. The consumption is huge, so like it is a very huge network, and like it is something which is just booming right now. That's all I can say.
Right, right, right. I can completely understand, and that's the reality of the Indian market also that is happening in here right now. So yes, all hands down on the agreement. Okay, so Hardik, why don't you take us deeper into your journey and start from the very starting point from where you started and tell us everything in detail to the current point at which you are.
So if you start from the starting, I want to start with the note. So I read, uh, like I don't read books, so I just read few pages of that book, and that was by Steve Jobs. And the point that I got from that was connecting the dots. So basically,
Right.
whatever you do in your life, it somehow gets connected to what you're doing now. So
Mm-hmm.
if we talk about how did I start working? It was probably back in 10th standard when I
Mm-hmm.
thought after my boards that why not throw a batch party and earn out of it? That why do I have to
Right.
waste my money to party when I can throw a party and earn out of it? So that was the first
Okay.
point that came to my mind, and that made me a businessman from there. So then things changed. I was all in media, and I just knew
Mm-hmm.
one thing, that I have to sell my skill because पढ़ाई में इतना ध्यान नहीं रहता था. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a hard worker. I was basically a smart worker. So पढ़ लेता था end में, and then I used to get decent marks. Like it was never bad, but it decent. So
Mm-hmm.
after that, I knew I have to sell my skill. So फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो पहले तो CA CS में फंस गए थे बिकॉज ऑफ पेरेंट्स. यू हैव टू डू CA CS. मेरे घर में सब CA CS थे. बट देन
Right.
फाइनली आफ्टर माय BCom I got out of it. I ran to
Mm-hmm.
Delhi, and I took admission in Amity because I just
Okay.
wanted to be out of Jaipur, and I wanted to be on myself and do start
Okay.
doing what I like basically. So while doing my MBA in media, I did MBA in media. मीडिया भी उस समय
Mm-hmm.
इतना आइडिया नहीं था, बिकॉज आई वॉज ऑल इन टू फाइनेंस, एंड देन आई जस्ट न्यू दैट इट इज रिलेटेड टू मीडिया, मुझे वो पढ़ना है, एंड देन आई फिगर आउट दैट व्हाट आई डू विद माय लाइफ. So I
Okay.
started from really basics. I started from coordinating in events because आप college में होते हो, and then I thought how to start. So in Noida, there's this mall called Great India Place. I started coordinating
Right.
events there, and then
Right.
slowly, I had my roommate. He was an anchor, so he took me
Okay.
to a show, and I was like, even I can do it. So रात को ऐसे ही he was making fun. अच्छा, you can do it. I'll take you on stage tomorrow. He took me on stage, and somehow I started
Uh-huh.
anchoring. So that's how I started anchoring, because just because there was a show जहाँ पे उसका overlap हो रहा था, and for 1 hour he needed some anchor, and I just went there. I spoke. I made the crowd play a few games, and I started anchoring. So
Right.
after like coordinating the events, I started anchoring, and that went on all my college life basically. I hosted more than 100 shows. I hosted Mika, I hosted
Okay.
few Bollywood celebs, and then I
Okay.
did corporates, I did team building activities, and a lot in anchoring. So after like doing 100 shows, I was like, no, I want to do something more. Like this was really good what I was
Mm-hmm.
doing, but then it was like I wanted to do something constructive. Like this was something that I liked, but it wasn't that I wanted to do. So it was just because it was a good thing to earn fame in college, and you get a lot of attention, good pocket money, you earn good, you can party well. So everything was going towards the media line, but then I wanted to do something else. So then I was really obsessed with movies, how you make movies, acting. So while I was
Mm-hmm.
doing my anchoring, I did theaters from Shriram, I did filmmaking from
Okay.
Mahesh Bhatt Institute. So then made
Okay.
short films, got few recognition at different platforms. Mahesh Bhatt came and saw my short film, and he really loved it. So
Wow.
after that, so till now there's nothing of what digital marketing is. So that's how I then went to Mumbai. I went to Balaji Telefilms, and then I was an AD in a show. And from
Okay.
there, the best thing I've learned living in Mumbai was patience. Like that industry just gave me patience. Like when you do a scene, the same scene is done for the whole day, and like from minute details to where the glass was when we started the scene, and after
Right.
after like 4 to 5 hours, you have to remember what is the sequence and where were all the things, and so it just teaches you a lot of patience. So from
Right.
there, I still wanted to do something like something more challenging basically. So that thing was really slow, and it was something like I wanted to do something different, so I came into advertising. Because
Mm-hmm.
अभी तक इतना सब कुछ मैंने किया था. I also gave a competition, What's Your Story of Viacom 18. So I came into top 12 in around 6 to 700 people. So उस समय when I was 23, I got an opportunity to be a producer of MTV, but final round में I lost. So मेरे को एक चीज पता चली
Okay.
थी उस पूरी चीज में, that I am a very
Mm-hmm.
good salesman. Basically कभी पढ़ाई इतनी नहीं करी थी, but then I was able to sit between people जो बहुत ही ज्यादा पढ़ते थे, those who were
Right.
geeky, those who knew all the techniques, and जो वो लोग पढ़ के techniques लाते थे, it was just a skill basically, a logic that was there in
Right.
me, and I used to sell everything really quickly. So from there, I thought, why not make ads? So from there, I came to an ad
Okay.
agency, started shooting ads, did ads for Bata, worked with Miss India, and then did a Mrs. India ka show, and things went on like that. So अभी तक पूरा पूरा ऑलमोस्ट मीडिया ऐसे बहुत अच्छे से अंदर घुस चुका था. हाउ टू सेल थिंग्स,
Right.
बेसिकली द लॉजिक बिहाइंड how to make, how to create, and how to sell it. Now the only thing left was how to sell it in 21st century. So while I
Right.
was in my advertising firm in Delhi, I came back to Delhi, and then one of the person who used to do digital marketing left suddenly, and there was this place
Okay.
which was empty, vacancy was there, and clients are after my boss's life. So
Mm-hmm.
he once came and told me that, do you want to do this? And I was like, I had no idea about what it is. So I was like, okay, let's do it, because I was always up for learning new things. So
Right.
so he just came, he gave me a lecture. Like us pura din, he it was like a lecture in college again when there was a board,
Okay.
and he just went on saying different things, and it like my mind was blown that how
Okay.
the digital platform that we use it for flaunting to what we are doing, this social media thing in our mind, that our social media life nowadays is more important than our real life. And this happens with
Right.
so many people.
Right.
But
Right.
how Mark Zuckerberg, from creating a dating platform to the biggest marketplace, how he just just rolled out everything, and how he like he did something so unique at his age. And I was just blown away by what is happening, like by what is happening on Google. They know every each and minute thing about you. So a very interesting thing those days, only because when I took that class, I went back. I that time the government had sued Google because they were violating privacy
Okay.
policies. So slowly,
Right.
slowly,
Right.
like that interest just came into me, like how like you the digital media and web knows every minute detail of yours, and how AI tool works, and it's really interesting. So from
Right.
there, it just went on to different articles, to different videos, and suddenly in a week I was doing campaigns for like big brands. So I did campaigns for Lay's, Fabrinto, EI, and there were many brands. So I did started
Okay.
doing e-com sales. So now at a position where I know how to use platforms, I know how to create videos, and like how to what to speak. So then I thought that why not just come up with an agency after so much of experience in media. So that finally brought me to the revamp, because this is the word that we used to tell the client, let's revamp your brand. And from that, where it came into my life, why not just keep the name the revamp, and let's revamp how you think, what is your brand, and how to sell it. So that was the whole story basically.
ओके 5 मिनट में पूरी स्टोरी बता दी आपने 5 मिनट में अपने पता नहीं कितने सालों की स्टोरी बता दी है एंड जो कि हम नहीं करते हैं but still we'll dive back into this journey and pull out a lot of stuff which hasn't
Yeah.
been told out yet
Mhm.
and then you'll see with kind of magic that I do. Okay.
Chalo.
Okay, so let's start from the very first beginning. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
on a very broad aspect, when I look at your journey, there's a lot of jobs, and then I see the business happening.
Yeah.
Okay, and but going by the very same notion, connecting the dots, the
Yeah.
first dot is in class 10, which is the business idea, the
Yeah.
kind of business idea that let's make money,
Yeah.
right? Now, I would say that before this dot, also there's some dot existed in your life, right? It could be at home or with maybe family business or looking at someone do business in your family or something like that.
Yeah.
So I want you to, bring that up and tell me ki, look back into your journey and tell me where this does this really come from? कि, धंधा करेंगे इज इट कहीं ना कहीं से तो निकलता है राइट समवेयर इन द ब्लड.
See, it was just that when I was young, so it wasn't that I had a lot of money. Like it was just a normal pocket money that I used to get. So the
Hmm.
basic rule of my life is like never let your expenses come down. Always think of
Hmm.
the ways to increase our income. So till the
Hmm.
time your expenses are growing, you're doing well, because till that time you will think of growing your income. So वो
Right.
जब टाइम आता था, जब पार्टी करनी होती थी, अब उस वो एज थी बेसिकली टू पार्टी. सो
Right.
आई जस्ट नीडेड वेज टू नॉट कॉम्प्रोमाइज ऑन माई एक्सपेंसेस. सो बस वहीं से वो पॉइंट आया था कि आई थॉट नो, आई हैव टू डू समथिंग, and I want to enjoy my life on my terms. Like I don't want to go and ask my parents for money, and then
Hmm.
hear a lot of tanas that you don't do this, you're partying, and you come late. So वो सब तब भी होता था, but still I never wanted to go there and listen to it. कि भाई just because I needed money, I have to listen to them. So it was just that I
Hmm.
wanted to do, I wanted to live on my terms, I wanted to have fun. तो तभी वो आया था कि यार अब कुछ भी करके पैसे कमाने होंगे. तो जब पार्टी इतना ज्यादा करते थे, तो एक दिन लगा यार ये जो पार्टी करा रहे हैं कर क्या रहा है. ये नॉर्मली एक पार्टी
Hmm.
थ्रो कर रहा है सोशल मीडिया पे, उसका सिर्फ प्रमोशन कर रहा है, सारे फ्रेंड्स को
Hmm.
बताता है, एवरीबॉडी कम्स हियर, he parties for free like almost every weekend, he earns out of it, and what a life. And plus he
Right.
gets all the hot girls somehow in the crowd and all the attention in the crowd because he's the man who's throwing party without even wasting a penny on the party and earning out of it. Like what a job.
Right. Okay. Right. According to you, listening to you right now, the source that I see is the parting source. So, your parents were into jobs, if I may ask.
Yeah, so my dad is in Ultratech and my mom is a teacher.
So, you're the first businessman from the family.
Yeah, sort of.
Wow, that's nice, huh? That's again nice to see. When business is turning up from nowhere to in the family, that's great. Okay, so this is really nice यार कि पार्टी करने के शौक से आपने धंधा शुरू कर दिया finally.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, so एक बात बताओ जब ये पार्टी के शुरू करा and then you really did you really make money when you started doing this thing, organizing party and all that stuff?
So, as I told you, so money never stays with me. That's the whole
वो तो मैं समझ
problem.
गया वो तो मैं समझ गया आपका ऐसा
Yeah.
दिखता नहीं है
So,
बट घर वालों ने पूछा नहीं कि where is this coming from, where you going and all that stuff, because you were doing this all in school life.
yeah, school life. So basically, my घर वाले were very chill. तो कभी ऐसा
Okay.
नहीं होता था कि there were times जब मैं 3-3 4-4 दिन भी घर नहीं जाता था just because I used to stay at my friend's place and मेरे मतलब उस टाइम भी सबको लगता था कि इसके पेरेंट्स कैसे हैं. So my parents were really cool with everything. तो
Okay.
they never really asked me कि भाई क्या कर रहे हो इस पैसे का, what are you doing? Because
हाँ.
in the end जैसे अगर मैं भी उनकी जगह होता है and my son started doing something at such young age जब बाकी लोग सिर्फ क्या करते हैं मतलब अपने पेरेंट्स के पीछे पड़े रहते हैं for all kind of stuff and he's trying to do something on his own. I would be really proud of him. I don't know about my parents but I would really feel good कि भाई देखो खुद से कुछ तो करना चाह रहा है and the main thing is you start thinking about responsibilities and logic and basically whatever the motive is but still you're doing something on your own and I feel that is the best thing if somebody is doing at a young age because उसको इतना ज्यादा experience इतनी young age से मिलना शुरू हो जाता है basically जो जब तक अपन सिर्फ कंप्यूटर पे गेम्स खेल रहे होते हैं या प्ले स्टेशन खेल रहे होते हैं and people actually start thinking logically beyond your fun life.
Right, 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 right. Okay, nice. So, Hardik, if I really ask you to look back at during that time, okay,
Yeah.
तब तो I can really say आपने सारा time party में निकाल दिया. But what was the really most taunting क्या word होता है यार? Was most learned thing that you learned at that point of time, or if you look back at it right now, what did that time really teach you? Because as you said, that was a very young age, very young age.
So
So,
one thing that I learned from that time is like you just have to go with what is coming in your mind. Like, don't
okay,
wait for the opportunity. Don't wait for somebody's suggestion. Don't wait for approval. Like, just start doing what you want to do. So, there's nothing that you won't fail or people won't say bad things about you. Like, everything is just normal. It happens with everybody. So, why not just start doing what you want to do? Even if you fail or succeed, it is all on you. So even if you fail, people will still taunt you. Even if you succeed because of doing partying, people will still taunt you. So it is just fine, whatever people are thinking. In the end, you should be happy with what you're doing. In the end, you should feel satisfied and you should be dignified with what you're doing. That's all. Like you should just live for yourself first. And then slowly, you will see in life that people will start respecting you for that. So that's what I learned basically.
absolutely. Absolutely. So now if I really move on, ठीक है, and when you said कि family में सब CS करते हैं, and that's why you did your undergraduate also,
Yeah.
but then you finally realized कि boss मुझसे तो नहीं होने वाला, and you kind of ran away to Delhi. So what was who really pressurized you? I mean, अब मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, I really feel like not the person who can be tamed. Okay, and you are a very free spirited guy and you're gonna do whatever you want to do. So how did you really end up doing CSES and Q?
See, so your decisions are always dependent on your knowledge of
Hmm.
different things. So
Okay.
basically, as I told you, I wasn't like so good in studies. तो ऑब्वियसली इतनी इतनी ज़्यादा आप दुनियादारी के बारे में नहीं पढ़ते। उस टाइम पे
Hmm.
जैसे कि बहुत ज़्यादा हम पार्टी करते थे, स्टेइंग विद फ्रेंड्स एंड लाइफ
Hmm.
वाज़न्ट दैट ब्रॉड बेसिकली टू थिंक अबाउट what you still wanted to do. And then when finally that situation came, you passed out from 12th and you just want to be till that time just because you were smart and you used to get attention. You wanted to be somewhere in Bollywood. So that was really lame what I thought. And
Right.
so, and now being like the service class family say, and then
Hmm.
when people finally, my parents came to me and asked that what you want to do, and if I say I
Hmm.
want to go to Bollywood, so that's not something they would appreciate. And
Right.
plus giving logics for that, I did not have logics, I did not have anything to support that. So
Hmm.
they gave their logics, I gave my logics, and obviously उनके logics में बहुत ज़्यादा weight था. And plus
Hmm.
आपके आसपास जो लोग थे, कौन होते भैया, दीदी वगैरह सब सीए कर
Hmm.
रहे थे. So it is just that situation where you don't have that much of facts knowledge to support that what you want to do. या तो एक ही चीज
Hmm.
होती है, या तो आप इतने जिद्दी हो कि आपने
Right.
कुछ नहीं किया, लेकिन इतना जिद्दी भी नहीं था. It was that I had respect for my parents, and plus I'm again a logical person, and that time, according to my logic, like when I thought about it, what they were saying was right because
Hmm.
नहीं हो पाता क्योंकि उस समय इतना पता ही नहीं था. So
Right.
जब ये सब हो गया, जब करने लग गया, सीएस का क्लियर भी करे एग्जाम्स, बट देन आई थॉट यार आई डोंट वांट टू गो टू एन ऑफिस एंड लुक इनटू एक्सेल्स एंड डू फाइनेंस. इट वाजंट दैट
Hmm.
कि वो मेरे को पता नहीं था, लाइक स्टिल आई डू फाइनेंस इन माय बिजनेस. Banking
Hmm.
is full on there with me. So it is not
Hmm.
that that is not a part of it, but it's not the whole solely task that I want to do in my life, like just going
Hmm.
through finances. So there
Right.
was a point when I cleared the CSK group, and after clearing it, I said I won't do it. I just wanted to prove that to you that see, I did it because you were saying it. I tried, but now I won't continue it. So it wasn't that I failed and I said कि अब मैं जा रहा हूँ. So that time they had to listen to me. So the only thing about running is not running away from home. I did not tell them when I
Right.
went to Delhi for my college interview. इतना भी ऐसे कुछ बहुत serious interview नहीं था. Amity में people get through. So it was the whole task was that I just wanted to get out because I wanted
Right.
to know things, and it was high time that I know things, and I had to decide that what I wanted to do. And because again related to Bollywood, there's this media course, and it was an MBA in media, so it was just like a mix of what my parents wanted me to do, that was MBA, and the media field
Right.
that I wanted to go in. So it was just that I joined, and I just left it on fate that whatever happens, but at least I will explore more things.
Wow. 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 That's quite interesting. Yeah. So, उस कॉलेज टाइम में कुछ नहीं किया? कोई कोई कुछ बकर नहीं करी आपने?
कब जब ग्रेजुएशन में था.
हाँ जी।
So graduation में when you do CA and CS, first of all there's no college. So you just
अरे
go to
यार!
college to
राइट,
give
राइट,
exams.
राइट।
Okay, so there was no
एग्ज़ैक्टली
college
यार।
life. So my
हाँ,
tuitions used to start from 6 a.m. Used to go till 11 a.m. for CA, and then again used to start at 2 and used to end at 7.
माय गॉडनेस, थैंक गॉड आई नेवर ऑप्टेड फॉर दैट।
You can imagine what the life was. And
नो आई डोंट वांट टू। माय गॉड। ओके, सो हार्दिक, व्हाट डिड यू रियली पिक अप फ्रॉम देयर? व्हाट डिड दैट एक्सपीरियंस टीच यू?
that experience basically taught me that uh, the policies and everything. I don't know the numbers basically. थोड़ा ज़्यादा स्मार्ट बनाया उसने. So businessman जो पैसा के बारे में नहीं जानता, जो हिसाब करना नहीं जानता, वो business नहीं कर
हाँ,
सकता. So again connecting
दे
the dots. So that
राइट,
was one part
नाउ
that was really needed.
नाउ यू नो हाउ टू प्ले विद द टैक्सेस,
Yes,
राइट?
exactly. Play with the taxes and how to actually generate profit, because again, profit is not something कि आपने expenses minus कर लिए. There are so many hidden expenses that you realize once
राइट,
you are into numbers. So how much
आई
to
नो,
quote, कितना negotiate कर सकते हैं, because there are so many
हाँ,
factors while doing business. So yeah, that
राइट।
all helps me, and like I know those 3 years are torturous, but then again, it helps.
Okay, so before I really step into your Delhi journey, okay,
Yeah.
I wanna ask something. I mean, So this is based on the culture. Okay, so now I'm gonna question the culture of
Mhm.
India. So yeah, when we really talk about Jaipur and Rajasthan, so
Yeah.
it's altogether different vibe.
Mhm.
Okay, and I mean when I go to it, I somewhat get a vibe of the old traditional
Mhm.
formalities and everything of that sort. And somewhere I've also thought felt it like I've been to Rajasthan quite a few times and talked to a lot of Rajasthanis, be it Jaipur, Jodhpur, Ajmer, and all those stuff. And the family relations that exist there, and the notion that foreign family, getting the girl married by 23, 24 max, and हमारा बच्चा या तो फौजी में जाएगा and do so. If I really ask you to, was there any sort of this culture in your family, or maybe which was predominant from beforehand, or do you really think so that Jaipur ka culture was
Mhm.
not that outgrowing in terms of a metropolitan what experience a metropolitan city like Delhi gave you? What
Uh,
can you say about that?
so when we talk about teachers, when we talk about the different parents of my classmates when I was in ninth and 10th. So I was that
Right.
बिगड़ा हुआ लड़का जो लोगों को बिगाड़ देगा. So
Oh my God.
because so it was just because I was very outspoken and I could do night stays and I could talk about Western culture and
Ah,
different stuff basically. So
right.
because before that I was studying in Bangalore in Sarla Birla Academy. That was a boarding school basically. So
Okay.
I came from there. So basically, life was
Oh.
different. What I had lived, like I was in boarding when I was in sixth standard. So I was living alone in like sixth standard से. So जब मैंने पहली बार
Right.
अकेले travel किया था, it was from Bangalore to Jaipur, and I was alone in seventh standard. So मेरा
Oh
पहला
my God.
solo travel was in seventh standard. So
Okay.
तो इसलिए जब
Okay.
वापस
Okay.
आ गया सो एवरीथिंग दैट आई वाज दैट गाय इन द स्कूल जो स्पाइक्स बनाता था या जो लो वेस्ट पहनता था
Oh.
सो ऐसे पूरा हिल बनाता था बिकॉज आई यूज्ड टू फॉलो फुटबॉल नॉट क्रिकेट सो देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ
Right.
थिंग्स दैट हाँ ये थोड़ा अजीब सा है अलग है एंड लाइक आई यूज्ड टू टॉक स्लो बिकॉज आई केम फ्रॉम बैंगलोर तो उस समय थोड़ा ऐसे नहीं बोलूंगा कि बाहर से आ गया था तो हिंदी बिगड़ गई थी बट हिंदी बात करने की आदत चली गई थी. So at first
Right.
वो da वाला accent आ गया था, "Oh, what are you doing da?" And it was very weird in Jaipur. So
I
there
know.
were
I
many
know.
people who thought I was high all the time in like eighth standard because I used to talk like that. So there are many
Okay.
misconceptions about the personalities. Actually, people get really uh, judgmental and people don't see a familiar habits and familiar lifestyle of someone's. सो वो जब ऑड वन आउट आप हो जाते हो तो वैसे भी एक्स्ट्रा टेंशन अपने आप मिलने लग जाता है. सो ऐसे ही
Right.
चलता था यार. सो एवरीबॉडी थॉट कि भाई इससे पता नहीं कैसा सा है. बट देन स्लोली स्लोली मेरी पूरी क्लास में 70% लोग स्पाइक्स बनाने लगे, लोवेस्ट पहनने लगे. एंड देन द वाइस प्रिंसिपल कॉल्ड मी एंड सेड कि तुम है ना स्कूल का एनवायरनमेंट खराब कर रहे हो. ऑल दोस थिंग्स हैव हैपेंड विद मी.
My God. Yeah. My goodness. I mean, it's like really talking to my complete opposite right now. Nice. Okay. 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 So, if I matlab, this is something new to, addition to your history. You came down from Bangalore to Jaipur, and then so the Bangalore culture is totally different
Yeah,
in terms
and
of when you talk about Jaipur and stuff.
sorry to cut you. So when I went to Bangalore, I was totally different guy. So it is just phases of my life that was totally different. So went from Chittor because my dad was working in Chittor. It is a very small town.
Okay.
It's near
I know.
Udaipur
I
in
know. I know. Been
Rajasthan.
there. Been there.
Yeah.
Right.
So the only thing famous about Chittor is Victory Pillar.
Oh,
So basically,
right. Right.
so I was a guy जो मांग बना के पूरा तेल लगा के बाल काटता था when I went to Bangalore. So, and I hardly could speak English. So I was that guy. And then in 1 year,
Okay.
I won a debate in English, and I was
Okay.
that guy who used to make hill to follow football. So I really
Oh,
adapted so fast. So like I have totally
right.
different phases of lives, and I just adapt very quickly in different situations. And as I told you, I always wanted to learn more and more. Like I always wanted to be a smarter person next day. So that was the whole point, basically.
Wow. Wow. That's really phases यार.
Yeah.
बिल्कुल. अगर सीधी भाषा में बोले चंपू से कूल से सुपर कूल.
I know. And then बिगड़ा हुआ because you're cool.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So whose decision was it really to send you out? Mom, dad?
No, so it was because of Chittor, nothing
अच्छा,
else.
because of Chittor. Oh my
So
god. So you didn't study in the Chittor का जो आर्मी स्कूल है या
no, it
जो
was in the
जयपुर
army
स्कूल है?
school. So we had बिरला की कॉलोनी और वहाँ पे दिल्ली पब्लिक स्कूल था. So जब
Okay.
तक मैं फिफ्थ में था तो डीपीएस था and then it went
हाँ.
off and Birla started with Aditya Birla Public School. So that's when
Okay.
my parents thought because all the DPS ka staff left. So again, I think I was destined
हम्म.
to go there. So all the staff changed suddenly, and उस समय सरला बिरला Academy बना था Bangalore. It was a huge boarding school. अभी भी मतलब वो top 10 में
Right.
आता है, and it was Kumaravram
Right.
Birla's like dream to make a such high standards boarding school, and it really changed my life. Like from there, I had different visions in life, and I went on to play so many sports. Went to like football के states में, swimming के states में. So like boarding school is something which I thought is not so much in India's culture, but one should really go there. Like if you
Hmm.
go to boarding, I can tell you that you can live alone anytime in life because you know how to do everything. Like and plus you can talk to any person who's there. So you have to like I really feel like one has to go to boarding school and live there because it's really a good experience.
My goodness, my goodness. Okay, I get that. I get it. But I'll tell you one thing. Same experience engineering करके भी हो जाता है 4 साल में. जरूरत नहीं है
Yeah. अब
बोर्डिंग.
मेरा मेरा तो वो सीएससीएस में निकल गया था ना. So
आपको
I had
आपको
this
ऑपोजिट हो गया पता है.
experience.
आपको ऑपोजिट हो गया.
No,
आपको
this is
बचपन में दूर
also
भेज दिया.
yeah, this is also peculiar thing. So after 12 my parents were like मैं बोला दिल्ली जाके पढ़ूंगा वहां जाके तू बिगड़ जाएगा ना मतलब आपने 6 में मुझे बाहर भेज दिया था एंड नाउ मैं बिगड़ जाऊंगा मैं कहा मैं और नहीं बिगड़ सकता हूँ जाके पूछो मार्केट में पहले.
Oh my god. That scene would have been so funny to watch, yaar.
I know.
So funny to watch.
And then those
Oh,
relative की बैठक when people are like no
अरे
ये बिगड़ जाएगा. And I was like चलो
भाई.
यार CS कर कोई बात नहीं.
My goodness. So tell me one thing, Hardik. Yeah,
Yeah.
you really tasted different cultures:
Yeah.
Bangalore, Jaipur, Chittor, and then finally Delhi, right?
Yeah.
So what's the major difference? Because talking to you, मतलब, you also said it, and it's pretty much evident that Chittor से जैसे ही आपने Bangalore में step in किया, there was a huge amount of exposure,
Yeah.
right? Which broke a lot of ceilings for you, and it opened a wide vision in front of you. Your
Yeah.
horizons were much more wider,
Yeah.
and that is where I guess all the change happened, from football to following all those football क्या कहते हैं fans
Trend.
and
Yeah.
football players and everything, right? मैं तो football के आसपास हूँ, but that changed your thing. So if I really ask you in terms of about this thing, कि यार, how has your exposure changed over the period of time by jumping cities? What would you really say about that?
Oh, so when you talk about exposure, so it's basically I can sit at a panwadi, talk to a person about politics. I can go
Mm-hmm.
into a club, talk about parties and their margins. I can
Oh,
go
wow.
to a tech guy, talk about AI. I can go to a
Hmm.
media guy, talk about shairis, what he should say on stage. It's
Okay.
basically you can talk to everybody and you have a very wide basically scope of what you can talk and plus a vision that sees different phases of life that can feel different stories that can feel different pressure points of people at different stage
Hmm.
of life. So basically it is just you can think wider like your perspective becomes really wide because you have seen so much of different phases with different people जब आप ऐसे
Hmm.
आदमी के साथ भी रहे हो जो जिसको बहुत ज्यादा परेशानियां हैं लाइफ में और आप ऐसे आदमी के साथ भी रहे हो जिसके इंडस्ट्रीज हैं इंडिया की सबसे बड़ी सो यू नो फ्रॉम टॉप टू बॉटम व्हाट टू टॉक what people like
Hmm.
and again so that in marketing terms you know every kind of target audience so if you talk about business again, so when you think about marketing, it is all about living their life, what people think,
Right.
what people
Right.
will get attracted to. So it is just gives you a lot of perspective in life.
Right, right, right. So you've broken a lot of ceilings out there. That's great, yeah. Okay, so we've got answer to that question also. Now let's come back to your Delhi part. Okay,
Yeah.
let's start picking your journey back from where we left. So, you told us, yeah, Delhi, and you went in Amity and MBA in media sciences, whatever they call it. I don't know
Mhm.
honestly. So, and then you really want to do something in media. So, yeah, what my next question really comes up is, I mean, you were into partying, you went to Bangalore, you were doing football, you went to swimming states, football states. Media kahan se ghusa? Where
Media
did you pick up
Gusa,
media?
it was a stairway not to heaven to Bollywood. That's what I thought. so
हाँ
So, like reading those articles कि जब वो लोग बोलते थे कि एक एडी एक्टर बन गया, बैक कैमरा में
हाँ
काम करती हुई टीम को एक्टिंग का चांस मिला. So
हम्म,
I told you I did not have that much of logics in my life that time. So it was blindly passion and faith कि बैक
हम्म,
कैमरा काम करेंगे, मजा आएगा, and then probably I'll get a chance. So that it was that lame. But then again,
okay.
destiny was good. It was kind, and like I got good exposure in the end.
वाह यार. So मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा न्यूज़ पढ़ लिया आपने. दिल्ली टाइम्स, नोएडा टाइम्स, बैंगलोर टाइम्स बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़
पेज
लिया.
3 के बाद न्यूज़पेपर ना खुलता था ना उससे पहले खुलता था. एक तो पेज 3 और एक 11 नंबर स्पोर्ट्स का पेज बस.
भाई साहब. बचपन में तो दिल्ली टाइम्स याद आता था मेरे को कि मम्मा दिल्ली टाइम्स आ गया नहीं आ
I
गया.
know.
उसके बाद मैंने कोई पेपर खोला नहीं, पेज 3 पेज 11 में कुछ सोचता ही नहीं था मैं। बस पढ़ना पढ़ लिया बहुत है,
I
आगे बढ़ो।
swear.
Oh my God. Okay. So that is where you really engage yourself. So matlab if I really look at it and try connecting your dots. You've been the one who has been kind of getting attention since your early age. Boarding से बोलूँगा, चित्तौड़ का तो not a good idea, but boarding से बोलूँगा that since you've been into this football states and swimming states, definitely you would have had all the attention there. And उसके बाद मीडिया में आके यार आपने इतना सारा काम किया है. So I guess you would you मतलब it's not wrong for me to say that you love attention.
Yeah, you can say that probably.
Right. You want to work for it, get it, grab it, and then, yes, I nailed it. Right.
Yeah, used to happen that way. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Okay. So, उस book की वजह से now finally you were into media and दिल्ली में आपने अमेठी में इतना कुछ किया, you know, did those क्या started managing events for GIP. उसके बाद you came up with this, coordination, the masti anchoring that you really did. From that you picked up anchoring. So अब मुझे ये बताओ यार, what did you really pick up? First of all, from the event part, okay, what
Mhm.
what did you really learn from this? Because by this time you're pretty mature, okay,
Yeah.
and you have kind of a vision also, that where you're trying to lead yourself. So how were you trying to make a path for you and what were you really picking up?
So event mein first thing that I've learned is that working hours doesn't matter. Basically, you
Hmm.
can work for like I have worked for 48 hours continuously, and
Right.
one small fault of a motor can just destroy an event. And
I know.
that appreciation that you're going to get for working so hard goes away, and billions of taunts come on your way, and you have to handle that. And plus
Hmm.
you cannot even be angry about it because again it's the client and you have to listen to them with a smile. So this was the thing that I've learned in while doing events basically. So it's not that you do everything and everything will fall in place. Life is not that easy. So
Right.
it always like that really taught me that you have to be really patient, and in the end no matter how much hard work you're putting in, so it can always lead to failure, but then you should know that life just moves on and you have to keep doing that. And there'll be hard times and there'll be good times, and if there won't be any hard times, then कोई मजा भी नहीं है good times होने का, because again it will be really boring if everything that is happening good. Then you will question
हाँ.
yourself that there's not something exciting, what should I do next. तो
Right.
सबसे ज़्यादा मेजर लर्निंग चीज़ यही थी कि कितना भी काम कर लो, कितना भी जाग लो, so things are not perfect. It might go
Hmm.
really good और आपको बहुत सारा appreciation मिल जाए उस दिन, और उसी के अगले 2 दिन बाद कोई इवेंट खराब हो जाए and everything went down. So it's just okay. Like good phases and bad phases, you should enjoy both.
Right, 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 right. That's a good learning. And if I really ask you, ki, uh, from this really learning part, what are you applying in your business right now? What would that be?
So if you like if you talk about events or maybe building a video, anything. So I just have one thing in my mind. Basically, first is that you set your standards, and then you have
Hmm.
to live up to your standards, and then you should never compromise on your standards basically. So first thing you need in life is patience. Second
Hmm.
is setting up your standards and then doing things accordingly. You should not change because of what people are saying, and you should not fall for negotiations. You should not fall for an early success. So there's nothing called as early success basically. If
Right.
if there is an early success, there are big chances that you will fall tomorrow. So early success is always like a bubble. So the media line really
Hmm.
teaches you patience. That is one thing that is really important in a life. Wait for that right client, wait for that right person who will understand. And talking about media, as I said in the starting of the podcast, the thing is you have to really educate the person. So when
Hmm.
I started my digital marketing journey, it was the
Hmm.
education that my boss gave me. I did not know anything.
Right.
If you would have just told me कि भाई तू CPC बढ़ा दे, एक funnel बना, and I would be like I can't do it, and I would have ran away. I would have left the job. So first thing when you're talking to anybody, talk as a layman, talk as a friend, understand their problem, and give them solution in the language they can understand. So if I tell you, like in digital marketing, you deal with every industry. So I read
Hmm.
about every industry, I understand the problem, I see their competitors. But when I go talk to them, I talk to them as a friend. I tell them how are the tools working, what are they doing, and it is not the technical language. अगर सामने वाला कोई शू बना रहा है, तो वो मुझसे नहीं
Hmm.
बोलता ना कि यार ये मेरा स्टक ऑन है या फिर ये मेरा ये वाला जूता है. He does not really talks in that technical language. He just say I have a shoe business, I want to sell it. So if he's
Hmm.
not talking in technical terms, why would you go and talk in technical terms? So that's the major thing that I like what I have seen in the media line, that people think that client knows everything. They talk in their technical language and then they think that client is dumb. भाई वो बहुत अच्छा
Right.
कर रहा है अपनी लाइफ में. उसको जरूरत नहीं थी इसकी, तुम जाके पिच कर रहे हो. So you have to educate them. So patience and logics and education, and again your sales pitch. If you don't have a
Right.
sales pitch that one can understand, your probably your whole business, your whole idea, it will just go down.
Right. 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 I get it. Okay. So now let's step into the next part, which is the anchoring part. Okay.
Mhm.
Anchoring and the short filmmaking course and the acting course, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
right? And these two, three things that you did parallelly. Okay. So I'm now, yeah, this uh, doing this thing, it's not really easy because आप एमिटी में हो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल.
Mhm.
एमिटी में अटेंडेंस का इशू बहुत है, बच्चे रोज आते हैं, ठीक है.
Mhm.
सेकंड ऑफ ऑल,
No, this was after Amity basically. This
ओके.
wasn't during Amity. So after Amity, I did a short job, and then I was like, कि नहीं मेरे को और सीखना है, because I went into an agency and those guys were making video ads basically, and they were really good at it. Those guys used to make fashion videos, and उस टाइम पे
ओके.
बहुत इंटरेस्ट आया स्टूडियो देख के कि यार ये कैसे हो रहा है. And I
राइट.
was just put into BD because I was from a media line, and
राइट.
I used to get a list of calls. I used to make it, go on meetings, come back, and I used to do it every day. But I had my eyes onto the studio. So I was like, I want to learn more. And I told my parents again, and they were like, भाई क्या करना चाहता है पता नहीं. हर रोज कुछ नई चीज लेके आ जाता है. रोज नई चीज कर रहा है. What do you want to do? Again all that lecture. But I was like, no, I want to learn more. अभी मैं satisfied नहीं हूँ. मेरे को और
हाँ.
चीजें सीखनी है. So then I went into filmmaking and I did theaters. So that was the whole thing.
Okay. So you kind of missed that. Okay, okay. So this is even more interesting now.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the anchoring part. So when you were doing anchoring, yeah, anchoring में इतना कुछ किया, anchoring is no less fun. It's super fun,
Yeah.
right? So what if I really talk about your mindset, yeah, right now? So right now you're pretty much sorted. You know where your life is leading towards, somewhere in the media line, and उसके बाद you're doing this anchoring up, events manage कर चुके हो, really seen that fun. So what was the mindset during that part? Where is my life really leading to? Am I sure कि मेरे को ये चाहिए? बट जैसे अभी आपने खुद बोला, your parents are also like भाई करना क्या चाहता है? So what would really go through your head when you were doing these shows back to back? क्या चल रहा है दिमाग में?
यार उस टाइम पे दिमाग में बस ये होता था कि आई एम डूइंग समथिंग रियली फन, आई एम गेटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ अटेंशन, getting good payments, and every day there's something different that I thought it was. But then after a point of time, it was like, okay, I'm doing this. So वो ऐसा हो गया था that after some time it was pretty monotonous basically, कि क्योंकि सेम स्टेज शोज अगेन अगेन ऐसा मतलब एंकरिंग का एक बहुत बड़ी चीज ये है कि व्हेन यू डू कॉर्पोरेट शोज इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट यू आर सेइंग different things every time. It is more probably like you're just saying it differently. The same thing you say every day because
Exactly.
the
You're saying the
show.
same thing differently.
Yeah, exactly. So एक टाइम क्या लगा है कि just that urge to learn more and I don't know like ये हो गया बस. एक बार ऐसा होता है ना जैसे मेरे को सीएस के टाइम पे हुआ ऐसे it was just I always had this thing कि बस अब ये हो गया and इसका आगे अब कुछ करना है. And
हाँ,
वही एक चीज जो मेरे अंदर हमेशा से था my expenses are again increasing. So I had to do something better. So फिर मेरे को लगा कि अच्छे से ये लाइन में सीख कर एंड देन आई विल गो टू बॉम्बे. सो वैसे
okay.
उसी सेम नोशन सेम थिंग एंड आई जस्ट मूव्ड ऑन.
ओके सो यार यहाँ पे मैं एक बहुत बड़ा सा क्या है ना एक छोटा सा हर्डल डालूंगा बीच में
या
विच इज रियली ऑफ द ट्रैक क्वेश्चन मुझे एक बात बताओ जिंदगी में करना क्या बिकॉज वी रियली टॉक अबाउट एक्सपेंसेस आर इंक्रीजिंग अगेन एंड अगेन दैट इज अ गुड थिंग बट क्या करना चाहते हो लाइक अंबानी का बाप बनना है क्या करना है
no, it's not like that. Yeah. So see, basically, so I'll tell you one more small story. Okay.
श्योर श्योर
So I went through a breakup and I was a really emotional guy that time. Like there was always a
ओके
lot of sentiments. So I'm an Aries person and we are always very passionate and emotional. So
हम्म
emotions were always there during this period. So there was my younger brother who's into science and he's like a very geeky one into gaming, virtual life. So
हाँ
he was talking to me and he's like 6 years younger than me. So I was
ओके
like, ये हो गया मेरे साथ ये हो गया and he knew मेरा breakup हो गया and he just told me one thing that have you ever imagined the world is so big, you're just so tiny, and while you were born like you want to really do something that people will remember, or you really want to make a difference in life, or just cry over a girl. What do you want to do? Imagine.
ये आपके चेतक छोटे भाई ने बोला
Yes.
ओह माय गॉड
I was like, ये तो बेइज्जती कर क्या मेरी? And so coolly he told me this, and he just went off. He was like, ठीक है फिर आपको यही करना है then all right.
Oh my God. I know which part of your life this was. Like
Uh,
Delhi, Jaipur,
yeah, this
which
was
was
when
it?
I was in Amity.
Oh, oh my God. Yeah, is that okay? Okay. So what are we picking up from here? Like, what's the goal in life?
So goal is yeah, as I told you, I really listen to myself. Like right now, also what I'm doing, it is really complicated. So
Hmm.
I'm married, and I was married at the age of 25. That I never thought that I will be married at the age of 25
Love
because
marriage, definitely in that case.
he what?
Love marriage,
Yeah, love marriage. So
right?
so I never thought that this would happen, but this happened. So right now, my wife has an apparel business, and then we have a export car business also. So basically, there's always this thing that whatever I have learned, I have put into circumstances and situation in my life, and I thought how to grow from there. So right now, uska apparel business ka digital marketing I do, ठीक है? फिर मेरा अगर कोई काम होता है, शी डज़। फिर जो हमारा एक्सपोर्टिंग का बिज़नेस है, उसका पूरा डिजिटल मार्केटिंग इन ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट कंट्रीज़ वी गेट ऑर्डर्स through my digital marketing. I have learned their work, they have learned mine work. So basically, how to just grow and keep doing what you want to, because I would have joined her or she would have joined me. That wouldn't have been fun. But why
Hmm.
not work hard, earn money, and also live your passion? So basically, कुछ भी छोड़ो मत यार. So right now, if I make campaigns, I still shoot and I still write anchoring notes. And whatever I have learned, I have never left it behind. I still play football, I still play FIFA. So it is all there in me, but I've never left anything really. So it is just there, and you just need to think of growing and exploring. And I really want to wish that I see all of the world and just live happily. Like, you just have one life, just explore basically. Why not just
Right.
try everything? And जितना भी try कर सकते हो कर लो यार. अगर मेरे को मौका मिला, I'll go on the moon also. So just try basically, because it's all about exploring. When you die, don't have any regrets. जी लिया बहुत अच्छे से. So I just want to be that guy.
Right. 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 I get it. Okay. So this is really quite interesting. Yeah. कि what goal you're moving forward, and I really wish you luck for the same. So coming back to the journey, तो anchoring हमने ले लिया. Now we back step into the small job. So मुझे एक बात बताओ, what mindset did you do this job for the small time in which you were doing all this meeting stuff and looking at the studios, and what did it really instill in you?
So, as I told you, so after Amities, I was the only person, like me
Hmm.
and one of my friend, we got selected for Viacom 18. So
Oh
that was
wow.
the time when MTV ने हमारी flight tickets कराई थी ताकि हम वहाँ interview पे आ सकें. So it was a 3 months ka altogether a contest or the interview, whatever you call it. So what's your story karke tha. It had 6 different rounds, and I got selected from the North Zone, and we were the first people from Amit to ever made it to the final round. So
Wow.
so that was a huge thing. So imagine again that guy who used to do anchoring और college में कोई इतना ध्यान भी नहीं रख देता था. So again, because I was a good salesman, I knew how to do it, and I went to the final round. उस टाइम पे जो इज्जत मिली घर से, फ्रेंड से, कॉलेज में, right, it was just next level. So उसके बाद when it did not happen, so
Right.
the final round, and that was just because I wasn't like I was in the media line, but on the management side, and I wasn't shooting and everything. So that's when they rejected me, and I was like कि फिर ये तो गड़बड़ हो गई, ये क्या हुआ? ठीक है,
Right.
तो मैंने फिर बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट एंड मार्केटिंग लिया क्रिएटिव वे में इनटू अ प्रोडक्शन हाउस, बिकॉज आई वांटेड टू जस्ट रीच देयर फर्स्ट एंड देन फिगर आउट अ वे कि मैं आगे क्या करूंगा, कैसे सीखूंगा मतलब. So I went there और मैं कुछ-कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स में जाता भी था. I used to stay late for edits. I used to stay late and go to studios and see how they are doing it. And then I left it and I did the course, because I always like find a way to be near that thing that I want to do, and then I figure out a way कि उसके बाद कैसे आना है. Beat anchoring जब मैं coordination करता था, उससे मैं anchor बन गया. So अभी जब मैं यहाँ पे marketing करता था, उससे मैं उसमें चला गया. Then I went to Balaji. So just figure out a way and go there basically, and then see and figure out a way कि उसके आगे कैसे बढ़ना है.
Right. 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 Okay. ठीक है. So that's also nice. Yeah. Looking at that part. Now, as we move on, so the next thing you told me, that you picked up these courses at Mahesh, but for short films, and you made a short film,
Yeah.
and you learned making those things. So now I want to combine these things before you really finally go to Bombay and work at Balaji.
Hmm.
ठीक है. So यहाँ or till all this point, कभी you didn't really get this thought कि अब मुझे अपना कुछ करना चाहिए. You really wanted to do jobs, like you were really switching jobs back to back, learning something new, या फिर आपकी भूख खत्म ही नहीं हुई थी.
I see. Like I was never at a point कि जब मेरे को लग रहा था कि I cannot survive. And secondly, I am always a guy who, like till that time, जब वहाँ तक हो गया था, I could say that I used to see things on a larger perspective, longer
हम्म.
terms, with bigger vision. So basically, और उसी time पे जैसे थ्री इडियट्स में कहा था कि पहले काबिल बन जाओ फिर सक्सेस आ जाएगी, सो दैट इज अ वेरी ह्यूज स्टेटमेंट। सो फॉर
Mm-hmm.
मी, इफ यू डोंट हैव स्किल्स, बेसिकली अगर मैं तुम्हें बोलूंगी तुम एमबीए कर लो, डिस्टेंस से कर लो, और उसके बाद
Mm-hmm.
तुम भी जॉब करने जाओ, और वही एमबीए मैं भी करने जाता हूँ, और मेरे इतने अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं आते, और तुमने सपोज पढ़ के डिस्टेंस में टॉप कर लिया और मेरे से तुम्हारे डबल मार्क्स हैं, बट
Mm-hmm.
स्टिल आई कैन गारंटी यू व्हेन वी बोथ गो फॉर अ जॉब, उसी चीज़ की जॉब में आई वुड डू बेटर, because I
Mm-hmm.
learned skills, because I have grown my skills. So
Mm-hmm.
skill set is really important. Like whatever you do in life, always think about like how you enhancing your skill set. And I was always enhancing my skill set in the same field. बेसिकली अगर मैं कॉपीराइटर भी बन जाता, मेरा वो एंकरिंग का
Right.
एक्सपीरियंस काम आता। अगर मैं कुछ भी बन जाता इस फील्ड में, बेसिकली वो सब कंबाइन ही होता है, बिकॉज़ इट इज़ अ क्रिएटिव फील्ड, एंड अगर तुम ज़्यादातर क्रिएटिव लोगों को देख लोगे, दे एक्सप्लोर एवरीथिंग। लाइक अगर तुम किसी एक्टर को देख लो बाद में डायरेक्टर
Right.
बन जाता है, बिकॉज़ इट इज़ ऑल कनेक्टेड। यू हैव टू बी लाइक यू जस्ट हैव
Right.
टू हैव अ बिगर विजन टू इट।
Mm-hmm.
And again, patience.
Okay.
Media
Okay.
line just teaches you patience. So I was really patient. Like, कभी ऐसे नहीं लगा, I don't run behind fast success. So I'm always patient, like whatever is happening, and like always think of like party on small successes, basically small steps, basically that you grow and that you prove your point, your successful events, your successful shows. Then it was your successful
Mm.
TRPs, and now it is a
Right.
successful client. So छोटे छोटे खुशियों में खुश होना सीखो basically.
Right, right. That's really nice. Yeah, that's very nice. So, how was the family support when you really talked about going to Bombay at this point in time, and doing as working as AD at Balaji and doing the other stuff?
सो माय मॉम, उनके हिसाब से ऐसे अंदर से आई वाज ऑलवेज दैट हीरो गाय, ओके, सो शी वाज रियली एक्साइटेड व्हेन आई टोल्ड हर कि बालाजी में, बालाजी वाज़न्ट अ स्मॉल थिंग कि मैं ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ कि मैं एक छोटे से स्टूडियो में 81 बनने जा रहा हूँ, इट वाज़न्ट लाइक दैट। सो बालाजी हैज़ अ गुड नेम, एंड प्लस
Right.
she was like, finally I'm doing something that I really wanted to do, I'm going with there. And plus ऐसा होता है, like when you're in Jaipur, like people who are not in Mumbai, they always have this craze of camera, of actors and different things. I went there, so amazingly the flat that I was living in, so मेरे just
Mm-hmm.
सामने वाले फ्लैट में मेरा लीड एक्टर रहता था, सेम बिल्डिंग, एंड वी यूज्ड टू
Okay.
शेयर द शेफ बेसिकली। सो इतना
Okay.
अच्छा हो गया था लाइफ। सो उनके हाथ फोटोज आ रही है, सब आ रहा है, सब चल रहा है, सो she always liked it, because किसको नहीं अच्छा लगेगा, like always moms will be really happy. So dad was also okay, like उनको बस वही था शुरू से, he just wanted a stable life and he was happy seeing that I'm getting stable slowly. And plus
Hmm.
बालाजी में ऐसा होता है, you work for 12 hours for 7 days, so there's no holiday, there's no Sunday, you get
Okay.
एक
Right.
बार कभी कभार छुट्टी हो जाती है मंथ में, otherwise there's no holiday, no, so 3 hours was on the road, 12 hours ka work,
Acha.
hardly you can just eat and sleep when you come back. So
Right.
when you see somebody working really hard and onto what he really wanted to do, so parents were really satisfied that finally उसकी parties बंद हो गई, अब literally काम कर रहा है वो सिर्फ। So 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 they were happy।
Didn't you tell them Bombay में डबल पार्टी होती है?
यार बॉम्बे में नहीं होती ये सब, सिर्फ एक वो है, मतलब जब आप
नहीं नहीं।
इस इंडस्ट्री में जाते हो ना, आप किसी एक्टर से भी जाके पूछना, जब वो पार्टीज में जाते हैं ना, दे आर सो
हाँ,
स्लीपी, दे हैव हेडेक्स, बट दे हैव टू बी स्माइलिंग, सो इट्स
हाँ,
रियली प्रेशर वर्क व्हाट एवरीबॉडी इज डूइंग।
right, 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 right. Okay, so this is what you did on your family support was when you went to Bombay, so making everyone happy. So basically, if I look at your life till Bombay, because you already told us what you picked up from Bombay, that was patience, right?
Mhm.
So till this point, you've been really doing only one thing. If I talk in the very biggest of the perspective, doing what really makes you happy
Yeah,
and running behind the book of learning more, the
absolutely.
curiosity of learning more, not stopping at any point, not really figuring out. So now there's this one thing that really pops up in my mind, and for this part specifically, yeah, I mean you've told all this journey with really finesse and ease, okay,
Mhm.
but something which I wanna dive and know more about is the struggle.
Mhm.
Okay, so what was the most struggleful part of this journey? Because Bombay ke baad to you're back in Delhi at the agency,
Yeah.
right? And फिर वहाँ से तो we will step into a different phase. That would probably be the third phase or fourth phase we'll be talking about. But as a creative person in the media industry, it's very struggleful for everyone.
Yes, surely.
Right. It's a very, very struggleful. Paydays are, you never know. Payments का कुछ guarantee नहीं है unless you're really someone big and all the things. There's so many things related to it. You know it very well,
Yeah.
right? So and after talking to, I'm pretty much sure that you come from a good family background,
Hmm.
where life was pretty stable. And as you already said, your dad was in Ultratech and is an Ultratech, and your mom is a
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah.
Life's pretty stable. I
Yeah.
won't say it's in the low class, something like that.
Yeah.
Life's pretty stable. So working during this media culture and all those things, how was your payment structure like? What was the pace now like? Were you really making everything that you really wanted to? Because you also said your expenses have been increasing in
Yeah.
every part, and you didn't want to come down. You wanted to earn more. So were you really able to keep up with your expenses, or you had to ask for money here and there sometimes, ask from parents, or what was it like?
No, so obviously I used to take money from my parents. Like you cannot survive in cities like Delhi and Bombay on your own if you
Hmm.
aren't earning that much.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
basically there was struggle. As tell you, like media line is something where people think that everything is really chill, and like those are not
No, it's
into the
not.
media line. So they
Hmm.
always saying, "Arey yaar, inki hai life, to ye life honi chahiye." But then they don't know a lot of things about media line. So
Right.
अगर मैं ऐसे बोलूँ सो एंड आई एम दैट गाय कि अगर मेरे लिए में लास्ट 100 रुपए भी होंगे एंड पीपल विल बी लाइक कि चले खाते हैं आई वुड जस्ट स्पेंड इट नॉट थिंकिंग मच बट दैट डज नॉट मीन दैट आई हैड नो स्ट्रगल सो देयर
Hmm.
वाज अ टाइम जब ऐसा भी होता था जब व्हेन आई वाज डूइंग इवेंट्स तो जब एकदम से ऐसे पैसे खत्म हो जाते थे सो आई यूज्ड टू इवन गो एज़ अ कोऑर्डिनेटर जो बिल्कुल छोटे लेवल वाला कोऑर्डिनेटर होता था आई वोर अ रेड
Hmm.
शर्ट आई वाज अवेक फॉर 2 days and just coordinating basically literally मतलब ऐसे hot red shirt में. So it is not
Hmm.
like that I have done really small things but again मतलब जब भी मैंने ऐसे काम किए हैं जैसे जब हम मुंबई में थे, बारिश होती थी इतनी ज़्यादा, ऑटो बंद आ गया, उसी ऑटो वाले को धक्का लगा के ऑटो आगे तक लेके जा रहे हैं, पूरे गीले होके शूट पे खड़े हुए हैं, पूरे दिन गीले रहे. So there's a lot of struggle if you talk about struggle. तो एंकरिंग में भी ऐसे ही होता था. सो नो मैटर यू हैड शेड्यूल्स, आपकी तबीयत खराब है, आई हैड फीवर, आई हैड 104 फीवर बट आई हैड टू गो ऑन स्टेज स्माइल एंड मेक एवरीबॉडी स्माइल विद अ लॉट ऑफ एनर्जी दैट आई डिड नॉट हैव. और जब दिल्ली में नया-नया गया था, तो मेरे को
Hmm.
कफ हो गया था ऐसे बहुत ज़्यादा बिकॉज़ ऑफ द पॉल्यूशन. सो मैं लिटरली
Right.
पूरा एक कफ की बॉटल स्टेज पे लेके जाता था और पूरी एक बॉटल एक शो में खत्म हो जाती थी. मैं अपने ब्लेज़र में रखता
Um,
था, सो जैसे लोग ब्रांडी पीते हैं, मैं कफ सिरप पी रहा होता था. मैं कोऑर्डिनेटर था, लाइक तेरे में से स्मेल आ रही है भैया, कफ सिरप की है यार. सो सो मीडिया
oh
विल इज़
yeah.
समथिंग जहाँ तुम ये बोल ही नहीं सकते कि आज मेरे को ठीक नहीं लग रहा, सो जस्ट आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग अ लीव बिकॉज़ दे आर ऑलवेज़ ऑन देयर टोज़ नो मैटर व्हाट. लाइक बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं सर, दे आर रियली हार्ड पीरियड्स. But then again, being very related to Bollywood filmy, I always thought that it is the struggle period in my movie basically. So it is something that right now that I'm saying I would say something like this when I'll be successful. So like just you have to be positive about whatever is happening. Just enjoy every
Hmm.
moment. I'm not saying that obviously वो struggle के time में बुरा लगता है, but ऐसा
Hmm.
नहीं है. मतलब उसको हमेशा positively लो. Think about the good times that is going to come because of that struggle. So you'll always
Hmm.
feel better.
Okay, so if I ask you, is this how you've already kept yourself motivated during all these times?
Probably because see, as I told you again, when I was a coordinator, I used to see the anchor कि ये बढ़िया कर रहा है. Then I went anchoring. So हमेशा वो ऐसे ही होता था. Then ऐसे ही करके बॉलीवुड में मतलब उसमें पहुंच गया था बालाजी में. So it
Hmm.
was always like that I always thought मतलब मैं अपने से ऊपर वाले को देख के I used to think कि अब मेरे को और मेरे में और उसमें क्या डिफरेंस है. And I used to work on
Hmm.
the skill set. अगर हमेशा अगर आप बोलते हो you hate your boss, इट इज़ बिकॉज़ ही नोज़ मोर देन यू. आप चाहे कितना भी समझ लो कि आप बहुत ही बढ़िया हो और आपका बॉस बेवकूफ़ है, बट देयर वुड बी सिचुएशंस व्हेन यू विल बी लाइक कि यार मैंने ये क्यों नहीं सोचा जो वो मेरे को बोल रहे हैं पहले. सो देयर इज़
Hmm.
ऑलवेज़ बिकॉज़ ऑफ दिस एक्सपीरियंस एंड again whatever he has learned in these years because what experience gives you no book nobody can give you. Basically your experience teaches a lot of things. So it is always like that you have to just you just have to see that what is the difference between a successful guy in the same field and you, and why are you not there? So, and just work
Right.
on that.
So Hardik, this is the very good thing that there will be situations that you will get to realize that your boss knows more, and there's a reason that your boss is the boss.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know that if there is any situation or any incident that you remember when you hit the wall and your boss came to rescue, and then you were like, fuck man, this is the reason he's the boss, and that's why didn't I really think like that? So do you remember anything like that, any situation, any incident?
I remember that in every company I was in. So
Okay.
basically, if you uh, start from my meetings when I used to
Right.
do BD, so there
Uh-huh.
were things when clients used to ask something, and I was like, "Oh no, what should I say?" And then
Uh,
because in the starting, you used to go with the boss only because that's how you get trained, and then they used
right.
to come up with such a good story, and then the client used to forget even what he was asking, and like those places where they just got out so with so ease and so calm, and like nobody even gets to know that what they are saying is sometimes not even true, and sometimes they're just distracting the client from the real situation. So again, so there were times when I was like very speechless, and I'm not that
Mm-hmm.
guy who is probably speechless itna zyada, but स्पीचलेस जब होते हो उस टाइम ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ बचा ही नहीं है बोलने के लिए, कुछ वर्ड्स मुंह से ही नहीं निकलते हैं, देयर वर टाइम्स लाइक दैट।
हाँ,
एंड
हाँ,
जब हम डायरेक्शन में भी होते हैं, सो देयर वर टाइम्स जब एक शूट हो रहा होता है, एंड वो सीन उसके 3 या 4 दिन बाद होता है, एंड द डायरेक्टर सडनली रिमेंबर्स एवरीथिंग। अगर आप एक छोटी-सी भी गलती कर देते हो, बट ही रिमेंबर्स एवरीथिंग बिकॉज़ ही हैज़ सो मच ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस। उसको पता है कि अगर एक इंसान ने ग्लास फेंका था और उसके टुकड़े किसी डायरेक्शन में गिरे थे, तो हो सकता है कि जब आप एडी हो, आपका इतना ध्यान उस समय वहाँ गया हो कि हमें वो ध्यान
हुँ,
से देखना है, बिकॉज़ यू हैव टू कंसंट्रेट दैट on that so that you remember its exact placement. But director
right,
having that experience because he knows that we would have to do it again after 4 days. So he watches that with all the concentration and he remembers, but you don't. So again,
right.
it's the experience that will teach you, and you cannot just skip that part and think that okay, you are just way more superior than your boss. It never happens.
I understand. Okay, so you've been in plenty of situations, right? Okay, so now I wanna come back to the Delhi, the agency that you really started working. So my first question, why did you decide to work at an agency?
Agency. So here I should say probably because so my wife that time was my friend, and
Mhm,
she's the person who really supported me, who really always was there to listen to me. Like she was a friend who has to go to just talk, and like when there's a person who really listens to you, you start talking those things that you never even thought when you were alone, when
mhm,
basically आप ऐसे पॉइंट पे आ जाते हो आपको समझ ही नहीं आता कि क्या करो, या फिर कई बार ऐसे काम में भी होता है आपको समझ ही नहीं आता है अरे कैसे करूं, एंड देन
mhm,
जैसे कोई पिच करना है या फिर कुछ भी करना है, सो इट वाज अ पॉइंट जब मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि फ्रॉम हियर शुड आई टेक द रूट टू a movie, basically go to a production house or go to a ad agency. So that is
mhm,
the time when I went to her, and as usual, I started talking. And तब आप realize करते हो आप इतना कुछ बोलने लग जाते हो, and you yourself start saying the solutions. ऐसा
हाँ,
I don't know how it happens, but it is really magical. And जब वो
but
इंसान सही में आपके सामने, तो इसके अपने आप कुछ भी बोल सकते हो ना, you always start saying things जो आपके अंदर कहीं पे हैं, and you are also not able to find it, and then it comes out in front of that person. And I realized that all this time I was just a good salesman. Like चाहे वो
okay.
कोई भी सिचुएशन हो, कहीं भी हो, I knew how to sell a certain skill set, a certain attribute, and that's the main part of advertising, that you should know who are you speaking to. And even in my media classes, the advertising professor once told me that you should go in an advertising agency because you are really good at it. So
Mhm,
while talking to her, I realized that there's something really challenging, and all my skill set adds up to this. And like बस वही एक अंदर से आवाज है कि ठीक है अब एडवर्टाइजिंग करना है, सेम वही चीज. So I thought
mhm,
that इन दोनों चीजों में with movies that was like बचपन का fascination, but again
Hmm.
all logics and everything. I thought I would do better in an atmosphere which is more corporate and not the set culture basically that I did not like that much. I did not appreciate that culture so much. And I always
Hmm.
wanted to be in, like as I told you, I always wanted to surround myself with people who are much smarter than me. Like it has been
Hmm.
since I was really young. जैसे जब मैं बैंगलोर गया था, so it was always
Right.
that urge to be among people who are smarter than you basically, who are really witty, and वो मुझे लग रहा था कि उस इंडस्ट्री में ये कल्चर नहीं है. Though those people are really hardworking, but that is not exactly that I wanted my life to be between that culture. So
Hmm.
I always thought कि शायद advertising is that culture with that skill set, I would be more at a happy place. That's why
Okay.
I finally talked to her and she really helped me figure out. उस टाइम तक मैं सच बताऊं मेरे को ये तक नहीं आता था. Now I do lead generation campaign. I did not really know how to take a proper job because advertising agency मतलब बड़ी agencies हो गई and आपको ऐसे ही काम नहीं मिल जाता. Production houses and everywhere you just go talk to people and then you,
Hmm.
if you are good at it, like media line में हर जगह ऐसा होता है. It's basically reference and you have to talk. People talk about nepotism, but I don't know about nepotism. It is there, but again, the whole media industry works on references basically.
It
So,
does. It does. It
so
does.
I never knew the right route to basically take jobs. So she really helped me out. She mailed to so many agencies, made my good LinkedIn profile. That right now I master, but that time I did not know like how all this worked. I did not even know how to apply for a proper job. So
Right.
she really helped me out, and I went on interviews. People thought I wasn't there because I was totally from a different background, but then after
Hmm.
like 2 to 3 interviews, I figured out that what they wanted to hear and where I was going wrong. Like in an interview, you don't have to be an honest person, you have to be a smart person. You just have to
Hmm.
tell what they want to hear. So
Hmm.
then finally I realized, and then finally I joined a media agency basically.
Okay. 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 So now another good question that really comes up is, although it is very much clear to me now, कि, what you did was basically जिस भी फील्ड में आपने काम किया, जैसे you think so, the saturation is setting up and you have acquired and you really get the knack of the industry completely. You're like, now I want to notch up another level.
Hmm.
That is when your mind gives you a signal to switch, right?
Yeah.
At, that is where you really take up the switch.
Hmm.
So my question is, till now, the complete journey has been very much free flowing. I mean, media industry, you know it. No working hours. So
Yeah.
where then that doesn't really matters. On the foot, that's where you party. That's where you work. It's the very same thing. And stepping into a corporate culture, it's strict working hours and all those things. Sitting on a desk, not really loitering around a lot. That in that part, I would say. So, what was the real mindset in terms of this switch from being a free bird to being kind of a nested bird?
So there was a time when I went to the media agency. Again,
Hmm.
the desk thing. Okay. So मेरे से पूरे दिन बैठा ही नहीं जाता था. So there was a time when I used to just stand up while thinking about things. So because इतना बैठने का habit ही नहीं था. Like जब आप बॉम्बे में होते हो, you really don't sit when you're
हाँ.
working, especially in like behind the camera team. You don't sit at all. Like the whole day,
Right.
I used to wear a Fitbit. मेरे 10,000 steps ऐसे ही हो जाते थे. I did not even get to know. और अभी अगर
Right.
आप देखो आपके मुश्किल से होते हैं 1000 2000 steps. So तो वही, सो दैट वाज़ अ मेजर शिफ्ट बिकॉज़ बैठना आता ही नहीं था। सो
हाँ.
तो लेकिन उसके बाद बात वही कि जब आप वो चीज़ें कर रहे हो, गेट सो मच इन्वॉल्व्ड एंड इतना भी नहीं, सो मीडिया कल्चर इज़ नॉट लाइक एजेंसी में इतना ज़्यादा भी कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर नहीं होता है। इट इज़
I understand.
काइंड ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर। वहाँ भी हम पार्टीज़ करते थे एंड वहाँ भी हम मीटिंग्स पे जाते हैं, इवेंट्स पे जाते हैं, शूट्स पे जाते हैं। तो ऐसा नहीं होता कि मतलब मीडिया इंडस्ट्री में आप, इट इज़ मिक्स ऑफ बोथ बेसिकली। तो शुरू में थोड़ा
Hmm.
वियर्ड लगा बट देन आई अडैप्टेड रियली फास्ट एंड देन इट वाज़ ऑलवेज़ अ गुड चैलेंज बिकॉज़ again you have to study about different clients and you meet such successful people, always listen to their stories and then get to learn so much. So it's really good. That's how we are, like we are connecting right now, is to connect on every meeting with every third person, because I'm always that guy who's really inspired by people who are doing something different, people who are successful, people who are working hard for something. So it's always good to listen to their ideas, their tricks, and how they reach that level and their secrets. So it is always great.
Right, right, right. So basically, you did not have a that dilemma of during the switch. You were pretty fine with it. If I take put it in the simple words.
So if you have seen it, like always I've moved on when there's saturation point. I was never kicked out of
Yeah,
somewhere that I have
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
dilemma.
That's what I
Yeah.
said earlier.
Yeah,
Right.
so exactly. So that's a dilemma इसलिए नहीं होता था because again हो गया था उस time तक वहाँ मेरा. So ऐसा कोई
Hmm.
dilemma नहीं था. There was always this thing again. The motivation was to learn more and not what I have left behind and cry for that. So always the
Okay.
new things were really motivating.
Okay. Okay. So now at the agency, although you already told us that how you came into the digital part of the agency and how you picked it up and everything. But what I'm going to ask is again, what did you really learn from by working at the agency? How did that mold you, and what learning are you putting in your business right now?
So so there's a whole new dimension of life that is virtual life. So basically, when we
Hmm.
talk about different dimensions, so there can be an alternative life, then there can be different dimension, different planets. Similarly, there's a whole new life which is virtual, which works on AI tools. I'm not a techie guy, like I wasn't from a background of tech, but then
Hmm.
again, it is something so amazing that when you start knowing it, it's really addictive, like to learn
Right.
what is happening behind these statistics, species, every click, how much time everybody's spending. It's magical basically. So
Hmm.
basically just imagine if, suppose I want this podcast to be heard by a lot of people. I just have to make few clicks, give some bucks out of my credit card. Not even much, like not even a billboard with the amount. It is just a small
Uh,
amount that I have to spend, and so many
right.
people will hear it, and it's magical. Because before, what could I have done? I would have sent it on a WhatsApp group, and उसमें से
Hmm.
कुछ लोगों ने देखा होता और क्या कर लेता मैं बोल देता अपने डैड से शेयर कर दो मॉम से कर दो. Now I don't have to
Hmm.
request anybody or anything. It is so simple.
Right.
Like so
Right.
the virtual life is really really wide and people don't really know about it because the more time they're spending on it, it is better for us because it's our stats, it's our pixel that is growing. So so, so it was just beyond my imagination because I never thought कि इंस्टाग्राम और फेसबुक का जो पीछे है वो इतना इंटरेस्टिंग होगा जो उसके आगे उससे है. नाउ आई डोंट केयर
Hmm.
अबाउट व्हाट्स on my Instagram. I care about what is behind it. So, so that is totally. It is. Just, I was just knocked off by watching everything that is there.
Okay, so I guess in that case, that digital guy leaving your office was a blessing in disguise. Otherwise, आप खुद ही office छोड़ देते time बाद.
Yeah, because literally मैं ऐसी एजेंसी में चला जाता जो लिटरली वीडियो एड्स बनाते हैं बेसिकली. तो
हाँ हाँ
क्योंकि
हाँ.
कभी ऐसा मौका होता नहीं है कि अपन कभी देखें कि बैकएंड पे क्या होता है, अनलेस like you're really a tech guy because every dashboard you open, be it Google Analytics or anything, if you're a tech guy,
Hmm.
you will be that guy who will go on YouTube, who will go on Udemy, who will learn that. But the people who are not familiar with that, they will never even understand. The whole
Right.
dashboard will look so scary that they'll just shut it off and they're like, okay, I'll find a guy who knows about this. And once you start doing it, it's not that difficult. But when you don't know about it, it is really scary to see the dashboard and how to go about it. So,
Hmm.
so yes, if he would have never left it, and that one day when actually I got to know about a lot of things. So, well, yeah, again, it's just whatever happens just happens in your life and take good things from it. ऐसा भी हो सकता था कि वो मेरे को बता रहे होते, मैं सो जाता, मैं फोन पे लगा होता. But you should have
Hmm.
that urge of taking the right things that is happening in your life. That's what my brother told me, my younger brother. So it is always don't care about what bad is happening. Always start taking things from your good things and always think about making your life better. मतलब बस
Right,
खुश रहो
right.
यार और मज़े करो और सब अच्छा करो अपनी लाइफ में बस।
Absolutely. So now comes the big question, which I actually have been waiting for, and I do love asking people who take a switch from the job. What was the mindset when you really decided कि boss अब ये job छोड़नी है and अपना करना है? What was that mindset, and what was really going through your head? कि boss, this is the time because your family isn't into business, no one's into business. You're the first one. So what was it like?
So I did few campaigns and they
Hmm.
made a lot of money. So
Right.
I did one Lay's का स्माइल देखो देखो कैंपेन जो
Oh
अभी
wow, you
चल
did
रहा
that?
है, यस। सो
हाँ,
उसका अराउंड 500 इन्फ्लुएंसर्स, so the whole deal was that the picture will come on the Lay's packet and you do it for free. So it was just a small concept. So
right.
but then everything went on such a big scale on barter. It was, I think, one of the best barter deal that ever happened. So वो
Okay.
बेसिकली ईडन मेरे को मिला था एंड देन दे टुक आवर सपोर्ट फॉर दैट। सो
हाँ,
उसके बाद व्हेन आई डिड दैट I had such a good database, like such a good database, and
हाँ,
that campaign is such a big hit. Like Ranveer and Arya did their song. So
हाँ,
there was a time when I thought that now is the time when I shouldn't like get paid on a salary basis. This is the time now that जब वो margin इतना सारा कमा रहे हैं मेरे को उसमें से अब पैसा चाहिए because there's not enough what I'm getting for thinking a lot of campaigns. So that is the time when I thought कि बस अब हो गया and plus उस time तक ऐसा हो गया था कि अब बस शादी होने वाली है।
हम्म,
So now there were bigger responsibilities and अगर वो मेरे को वो टाइम ऐसा लगा था कि अगर उस टाइम मैंने नहीं छोड़ के ये स्टार्ट किया होता तो फिर मैं जॉब ही
हम्म,
करता रहता मतलब। बट वो मेरे अंदर था कि अब शायद मेरे को इतना आ गया है कि अगर, क्योंकि व्हेन यू रीच अ मैनेजर लेवल यू आर
हम्म,
ऑलमोस्ट डूइंग एवरीथिंग। ठीक है? तो
right,
आप पूरी टीम को सँभाल रहे होते हो, क्लाइंट को सँभाल रहे होते हो। क्लाइंट के अंदर पिच प्रेज़ेंटेशन से उसका कैम्पेन के एग्ज़िट तक, देयर वाज़ नथिंग दैट आई डिड नॉट यूज्ड टू डू ऑन माय ओन।
हम्म,
सो व्हेन यू नो ब्लडी एवरी स्टेप, सो एंड प्लस सबसे अच्छी बात है डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में, यू डोंट नीड दैट मच ऑफ कैपिटल टू ओपन अप एन एजेंसी। You just need
हम्म,
right people, right team, and a cool place basically. It doesn't have to be a
right,
fancy office, and it can even be a room if you want to start from a room. So,
right,
so the moment I left it, I pitched to a client and I got a client। और जब मेरे को क्लाइंट मिल गया उसके बाद मैंने फिगर आउट किया कि कौन ग्राफिक डिजाइनर होगा, कौन ये होगा, कौन वो होगा।
अच्छा,
So, तो पहले मैंने क्लाइंट बनाया था, तब उसके बाद फिर उसके पहले सिर्फ एक वेब पेज था। ठीक है?
हाँ,
एक वेब पेज पे जो चीज़ें होती हैं सब वही थी कि मैं सर्विसेज़
हाँ,
देता हूँ, ये सब मैंने करा है, दीज़ आर माय पास्ट प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड और उसके अलावा देयर वाज़ नोबडी। So I just
अच्छा,
had that pitch presentation. So but then
okay,
and plus, it's not like that I did not have a backup. I obviously had in my mind that what will I do if I get the
हाँ,
client? Because obviously I had team members, I had friends who were in the same field. तो वो सब
हाँ,
ऐसे था backup, but उस time पे there was only me and there was my wife who was supporting me in different things. So we both went on a meeting. It clicked
हम्म,
and bus employees hierarchy and we started because I took that 2 weeks time to get them onboarding, bought some time and
हाँ,
उस वीक में ही hired people and started and then never looked back.
wow, that sounds pretty simple, but यहाँ पे एक twist question आता है.
हाँ,
So as you said कि when you were leaving, so you were like ठीक है, now this is the time you can really take up and you know everything and you can start the business, and this was also time when you were getting married.
yeah.
So नाउ टिपिकल भारत वाला क्वेश्चन पूछने वाला हूँ मैं
हुँ,
कि जब लड़की के घर वाले पूछते हैं ना कि लड़का क्या करता है, पैसा कमाता है नहीं कमाता है, ऑल दैट स्टफ लाइक राइट. सो डिडंट यू रियली थिंक यार अब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बढ़ रही है एंड इस रिस्पॉन्सिबल टाइम पे आई एम गोना टेक अ रिस्क,
yes.
विल इट बी वर्थ इट, और अगर ये बाय चांस नहीं चला व्हाट इज द फॉल बैक? सो डिड दिस थॉट और क्रॉस योर माइंड और नॉट, और हाउ डिड यू रियली डील विद दैट?
See, first I'll tell you, so when you have a good skill set, you'll never be scared कि अगर मैंने ये छोड़ दिया इसके बाद मुझे कुछ मिलेगा नहीं। ठीक है?
Hmm.
देयर इज़ ऑलवेज़ अ सर्टेनिटी कि कुछ मिल जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। तो
Right.
अगर आपको 2-3 महीने, 4 महीने कुछ ट्राई करना है, यू कैन ऑलवेज़ टेक अ ब्रेक। मैं यही बोल दूँगा मेरी हेल्थ खराब हो गई थी एंड यू कैन से एनीथिंग बेसिकली बिकॉज़ इफ
हाँ.
यू नो द वर्क यू विल गेट अ जॉब। तो
Right.
तो इसलिए मेरे को वो डर नहीं था कि इसके बाद मेरे को काम नहीं मिलेगा एंड सेकंडली अगेन, हाउ डिड आई
Hmm.
कन्विंस माय that time
And laws of
girlfriend and my
that. Right.
in-laws and my parents
Right.
again good salesman. I had a good pitch to, I had a good
Tell
pitch
me
and a good
that bit.
story.
Tell me that bit. I genuinely want to know.
So basically, what happened is
Uh,
that there was a very peculiar case when my father-in-law is a businessman and
uh,
he was always like to my wife that please join my business, otherwise I'm just shutting it because he has done enough that he does not needed to work more.
okay.
So there was this business,
Okay.
okay, that was there. Then there was this whole experience of my wife. Then there was this whole experience of mine. And then
Hmm.
again, there's this whole experience of my wife's sister, who was a designer. तो
Okay.
ये सब कुछ मेरे पास था, ठीक है? सो अब मैंने
Okay.
सोचा अब इन सब के साथ मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? सो आई
Oh.
टूक अ
Okay.
डिसीजन तो मैंने दिल्ली छोड़ा I
Uh,
told Malika 6 months before that you leave the job and go to the business and
hmm.
start making it a bit corporate. So
Okay.
she started building a corporate culture. I came here,
Uh,
I started basically redesigning the whole business, not technically, but
uh,
physically and basically taking it, making it digital. So basically,
hmm.
जो आप कह सकते हो कि एक थोड़ा traditional business of exporting because he had
Hmm.
good references. Now we have
Hmm.
clients that are coming through our website and through our SEO. So
Hmm.
international business is coming because of that. So
Hmm.
again, उस time period में I came, saw the whole business. Then her sister came, and then we all started thinking a brand that was House of Tomer and an apparel brand. We opened Revamp,
Hmm.
that was digital agency. So all these things
Right.
started at one point because again the whole together vision was to make a company that we can grow. So through my digital marketing, I can grow their e-commerce. Through their e-commerce you can get a lot of influencers that can again help me in my revamp ka business. Through exports I can get b2b clients. Those b2b clients ka digital marketing again I can do through revamp. So when the pitch goes, it can go from all different three companies and I can get business all together. सो दैट
Right.
वाज़ द बेसिक जिसमें ऐसा हो रहा था कि सबका काम बन रहा था और
Hmm.
सबकी स्किल सेट यूज़ हो रही थी एंड नोबडी वाज़ लाइक on a point where they would feel insecure or unsafe because we all were there to back each other. So that
Right.
was the whole business proposal. Like इतना lame नहीं था, बहुत deep था. I was there with numbers and everything. So
Haha.
that was the whole thing that we planned. So my wife's father, he likes that thing about me that I what whenever I had speaking to him, I was always honest. So the time when she was there with me since the time I was there in that film school and making short films. So that time
Right.
I met her father and I told her that I'm jobless. And उस time से वो मेरे को जानते थे and he knew that we were going like we were together and everything. So but
Haha.
he always I don't know what he saw in me, but he was like always this guy is honest and trying to do something. So he was also
Right.
an ex-army man. He was a colonel, and then he started a business after taking a pre-retirement. So he always, I don't know what he saw in me. He always saw that entrepreneur in me. That's what he told me, and that what
Okay.
eventually became. He always told me you had that urge to learn more, and I knew that somehow you'll end up good. He had that
Wow.
feeling in me. So
Haha.
that's what I'm telling you. I've been blessed. Like your life is all about those moments that you have lived and all about the people you have surrounded your life with. So these two
Right.
things are really important in life. Your moments and the people who are around you make your life and make you a different person. It gives a lot of hand in your success. So all goes the credit goes to all the right moments and the right people who are there in my life.
Wow, wow. So that's how you really started this thing during the marriage, and the risks were avoided, and that's how you managed the risk, I would say. Nice salesmanship, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Whoever is listening to this, समझ लो ससुर जी को कैसे पटाना है. Don't mind. Okay, so guys, this is actually the tip for you. But yes, this is also the right thing, I would say. Ki if you any of the listeners by any chance is at such a life point like Hardik has been, and you are also about to get married and in your entrepreneurial journey, I guess honestly, my मेरी शादी आसपास नहीं है, but I can actually think of it and say that the right thing would be to tell to be truthful to your in-laws.
Yeah,
And
always.
ज़्यादा ज़्यादा रिलेशनशिप वाली बातें हो गई, जिंदगी सोचो वापस आते हैं. Right.
And
Okay.
as I
So,
told you, always
हाँ.
be a person who talks smart, not a brutally honest. You lose if you're brutally honest, but you win if you're smartly honest.
Right, 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 right. Absolutely right. Okay. So now in terms of the basic question now. So when you left the job and everything, so how did you really start the business, the agency? So bootstrapped it, took some loan, or you and your wife, combinedly started it. How was it?
As I told you, I got my advance check and I started.
Acha
So,
yaar, right, right, right.
so
Yeah, you
yeah,
played really smart there. Okay.
I had money to start.
Right, right, right. Okay, that's nice. And moving on now, so how long has this been really been here? We didn't talk about a timeline. So how long has this business been there?
So it's been there from last 7 months, and I have around 6, 7 clients on board. And plus, this is when COVID came in between. So we are going good. And except for that, if you talk about the business overall, House
Mm-hmm.
of Tomar is going live next week, and our B2B business, that is exports, we have got around 3, 4 of very big orders through the website and all the marketing that we are doing. So that
Mm-hmm.
is also from outside India. It is from the regions
That's
in
great. That's
Africa,
great.
Europe, and then we have leads from America. So all together, it's going nice because we are not dependent on whole solely one vertical. So
Mm-hmm.
now that we have that much of capacity to play with different things, play with tools, it's really interesting basically. So that's how you make your situation right. It could have been a traditional business, but that's how you make it yours. Like own what you have.
Absolutely. 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 So what I really want to know, yaar, since you to already are CS and you have all the financial knowledge, so now I want you to tell me how have you applied that financial knowledge in your businesses and to start your own baby, right? And what are your money management plans?
So money management plan is always like no matter how big a businessman you are, always keep
Hmm.
yourself on salary in your own company. Never
Right,
ever touch the profits. You have an
right,
operating expense, okay? And you
right.
should first think about कंटिन्यूइंग योर बिज़नेस। बेसिकली अगर
Hmm.
प्रॉफ़िट आ रहा है, तो ये मत सोचो प्रॉफ़िट आ रहा है, ये सोचो कि ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंस इतने हैं, जिसमें आपकी सैलरी भी इंक्लूडेड है और पहले वो
Hmm.
निकालने हैं और उसके बाद जो मनी आ रहा है, उससे ग्रो करना है। सो यू
Right.
ऑलवेज़ कीप योरसेल्फ ऑन सैलरी एंड स्टार्ट इंक्रीजिंग योर सैलरी विद एवरी सक्सेस, बट नेवर
Hmm.
touch the profits. It is all should be in your business. The moment you start taking out money from your business, that is the time you'll go down. Because there will be bad times and there'll be times abhi bhi covid ka period hai, we did not fire even a single guy, even every from the smallest employee to our higher management, everyone is there. Nobody left and nobody was fired. It is all because people were sitting at home and we still paid. Like me and the other directors, we have taken a cut in our salary, but unko sabko rakha tab bhi. We never let
Hmm.
anybody out because there was the strength was there because the business had money basically. So
Hmm.
never take money from your own business. Never take money from your baby basically.
I get that. Okay, so now there's another question that really comes to my mind, and this is gonna be very helpful to the budding entrepreneurs. Okay,
Yeah.
and the reason I'm gonna ask you this question is because you have a CS background as well.
Mhm.
Okay, so the question is like, So Hardik, you two really cracked your first client before even setting up the office and everything.
Yeah.
That's a really great thing. But as you already said, सबके you need to put those expenses together at one point, and then start calculating everything, and then work towards the different stuff. But so what I really want to know is, and what I want my budding entrepreneurs to know from your side, कि यार, when you're just really starting out and you don't have enough clients to really set up everything. So let's say कि या आपको अपनी salary भी नहीं मिल रही है, director salary भी जा रही है, and you can barely, you have to keep up with all other expenses. You getting my point?
Yeah.
Let's say you have only one or two clients, जिसमें आप सिर्फ अपने basic expenses manage कर सकते हो. You really can't make up for your own salary,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So at that thing, how do you really suggest these entrepreneurs should go about कि अपना अपना प्रॉफिट हर टाइम से निकालें, और दे सेट अप अ सैलरी, एंड देन you know set up an operational cost combining your their own salary, and then pitch to the client, okay, to listen, this is the cost that you're going to pay. So how do you really suggest this work out for them?
See, I have a very interesting story for that. Always,
Wow, okay.
so your business, as I told you, is your baby. Okay.
Right.
So when our parents invest in us, they don't think कि भाई इनसे जल्दी पैसा आना शुरू हो जाएगा. ठीक है? They
हाँ,
invest in us, they nourish us, they see us grow, and then we give our love back to them. Okay? So it
हाँ,
never happens कि आप जब बड़े हो रहे हो, उस टाइम पे पेरेंट्स ऐसे एक्सपेक्ट करने लगते हैं. They expect आफ्टर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम, आफ्टर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम. और मैं तो तब भी बोलूँगा, तब भी पेरेंट्स इतना एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करते, बट ऐसा होता है कि अब हम वो एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि अब बच्चे कुछ करेंगे बेसिकली, है ना? So
हाँ, हाँ,
business
हाँ.
should always be like your child only. So if if there are times जब parents जो खुद के लिए नहीं करते, वो अपने बच्चों के लिए करते हैं. Same goes for business. So if you have good vision and if you really believe in your idea, in your business, in your talent, so
Hmm.
अगर आप ये सोचोगे उस टाइम पे कि मेरे पास अभी प्रॉफिट नहीं आ रहा है, या फिर जो मैं शुरू में ये बात बोल रहा था, अगर आप क्लाइंट बोल रहा है कि नहीं यार, इफ समथिंग इज लाइक 10 रुपीज, यू वर्क फॉर 5 रुपीज. सो जब
Hmm.
आप वो सब करना शुरू कर दोगे एंड स्टार्ट बीइंग डेस्परेट फॉर थिंग्स, तो अब नहीं चल पाएगा. मतलब अगर आप सरवाइव जब तक कर पा रहे हो ना, ऑलवेज
Hmm.
ट्राई टू ग्रो एंड पुट इन योर बिजनेस. नेवर लेट good people, good team go, because today it is like that. Tomorrow you never know. Your last 500 bucks that you paid for Uber and went to a client can gives you crores. So you never know what will happen. It is just that you have to have a belief, because as you have we have read in this thing, accounts, that the company goes on, the directors change, the owner dies, but company is always there. See Tata started
Hmm.
before independence.
1863.
Yeah,
Tata started at
exactly.
1863.
Exactly.
Right.
So they're still there. Everybody knows who are Tatas. They are like the my favorite industrialists that are there in India, and there are
हाँ.
so many companies like that. So company goes on. So it will always give you return if you're doing right thing. So never lose hopes. Basically, till the time you can survive, you survive. It is there with each and every entrepreneur, be it Steve Jobs, be it Dhirubhai Ambani. Look at anybody. So कभी भी ऐसा नहीं होता. As I told you, there's no fast success. There's always a success that you get after a period of time. That is the true success.
Right. 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 So that was a different question, guys, that I really asked for you,
Mm.
and I hope so that any entrepreneur who's listening to this and who's actually listening till this far is gonna understand this thing and get on with it. So another question that really pops up is, in this 7th month journey of yours, which is the biggest failure hiccup that you have faced, Hardik, and what have you learned out of it?
It's surely COVID. So
Come on, yeah. Apart from COVID, COVID is
no,
for
no, I'll
everyone.
tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Okay,
So
okay,
basically, the client that I gave me an advance before I was set up. Obviously,
right.
they don't know it. I hope they don't listen to this, but I'm doing a good job for them. So basically, those guys were the best lounge there in Agra. So
Okay.
now it's all shut because of COVID. So
Hmm.
there was lifestyle brand, then there was House of Tomer. We could not launch at the right time. So
हाँ.
suddenly when I thought कि भाई बहुत smoothly सब हो रहा है, And this came and everything stopped. So there was a deal. We went to Africa for our exports business. So we had to
Right.
sign one MOU, and we could not because flights are getting this thing shut. We came on 19th March and 22nd March. That was my birthday, by the way, when this
Oh
thing
my
started.
God.
So that one signature would have given us a very big project, but did not come my way just because
Right.
COVID came. So there were many things because we had planned. There were savings that had to be there. That there was a trip. जो अब मेरे 1 year होने वाला है शादी का, had to go. So
Right.
not the money came and not the time is there to do anything right now. So again, whichever. So these all things happened. Then we with my team we figured out कि अब कौन से clients हैं जिनका काम चल रहा है. So we
Uh,
started pitching them because again, as I told you, after COVID is the main digital era because from
right.
from shops to showrooms to malls, everything was shut. Everything is shut, and for a long time, it won't start as like it won't have the footfall that it used to have. So everybody is going digital. So you
Right.
always always come back one step and see the wider picture that what is happening, and then figure out how like you can be successful. And that's how we pitched into 2 3 of the clients and they got in. And right now, if like we are getting paid on the margins of the sales. So that is
Hmm.
how I figured out a middle way of how even the financial pressure does not come on them, and plus we earn our way and our amount that we deserve. So that's how you always have to think about it. Like come back, think about it. That what will be a middle way to move on. So that's how we figured it out.
Okay. Okay. That's really nice. That's so you kind of worked out on your COVID pandemic, the biggest hiccup that I would say in your business that has been right now. Okay. Okay. So now the next question that comes up is, and I would actually love to know the answer for this question is, are you money minded?
Uh, Money minded. So basically, for me, money minded people are who always keep their money with them, but I never keep my money with myself. I'm money minded in terms of I want to spend more and more. I never
Right.
want to keep that money. The money should come
Okay.
and be spent, and the money is there to spend and bloody enjoy. So never think of money to keep, but always be logical to not to take the entire money you have and just spend it. So as I told you again, be smart. So जैसे अगर मैं business की बात करूँ, don't take all the money out of the business. There should always be calculation. That's where the finance come in again. So, but the money that you have, like you should spend. Like this has been a problem with our generation before us that they really save a lot
Hmm.
and they keep
Right.
saving, and I don't know why they don't enjoy so much. Like they always want to save every penny from the sabzi wala to travel. Like you don't have to think so much for every penny that you're spending. Like spend wisely, but you don't have to think about every penny you're spending.
Right. 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 I get it. I get it. Nice. Yeah. So, okay, so now actually I'm falling a bit short
Yeah.
on questions, okay, because I've really asked you a lot of things in the past
Yeah.
1.5 hours. Right, but still I have a couple of them. So, you already told us that the pandemic has been a really big hit. Apart from that, is there really something else which you are struggling with right now, like in the business terms, maybe HR, tech, SEO? No, not SEO, yeah, but anything the technical part or anything of that sort. I'm just hypothetically naming
So,
things up.
so the biggest thing that is troubling me right now, the right talent. Because as you know, I've lived in Bangalore, Jaipur,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
then I went to Delhi, then Bombay, then Delhi, and now finally I'm back at Agra. So Agra is not a place where you find a lot of people who are looking for jobs from the tech background, basically,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
people move out because Delhi is not far away. So
Right.
people want to go to Noida, Delhi. So we really struggled in every team member that I have earned right now. We have these
Okay.
peculiar cases where there's a girl whose family is not allowing them to work outside Agra, and they have studied really well, and but they don't have that much of experience. So we have to figure out, like, we have those all odd cases in our team by luck who were there in Agra, and I've got them. So काफ़ी सारा
Okay.
स्ट्रगल करना पड़ा था, मतलब काफ़ी सारा स्ट्रगल टू just get the right team, because when I started, as I told you, so I started
Mm-hmm.
as a team, like on video call. Basically, people were there from Delhi who started working, and then obviously
Uh-huh.
I wanted a team here, because when the team is not in front of you, you really can't control them. So
Right.
slowly, very slowly, we have built a team. Like, it took us full good 2 to 3 months to find a few people who are the right one for the job, because then there's pandemic happened, and now we are getting quite a few CVs, because people have come back and they don't really want to go outside, especially to Delhi and Mumbai, because it's really not safe right now, because there are so many cases. So I don't know, there's luck, but I don't want to call it luck, because it's really sad what is happening. But somehow we are getting good people now. But the most, like, this was the biggest task for us to find the right team. Because then again, it was just managed because there were people like me, one of the other guy, my wife, the my wife's sister. We could manage everything because we knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
Right.
those skill set really are there to back you up, but then obviously you need your team. So that was our
Right.
biggest challenge.
Right, right, absolutely. I can understand this. I don't know till what levels, but I can actually understand this with you. Okay, so Hardik, like, honestly, this is the last question that I'm gonna ask. Okay, and
Mm.
I think so that this would be last. Okay, unless something else pops up in my mind. So, yeah, in your complete entrepreneurial journey, now don't go back to your previous part, okay, the
Yeah.
job part, but in your entrepreneurial journey, what has been that one experience? Like, let you just tell me that one experience. It could be bad, it could be good, it could be something that has changed you overall. Like, that has put in so much in you as a learning, and that kind of just changed you. That one experience.
Well, it would be really surprising if it was this afternoon that it happened. So
मैंने
just
से
today.
प्लान कर रखा था कि इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर.
No, no. Because all I could think about is this right now. So today was a
Okay.
time when I could not even sit on my chair, and I could not stop smiling. Like, I don't know, this was just out of my imagination what we had conquered. Because right now I can't take names because the brand is not like basically on papers with us. But
हाँ.
our B2B business, basically, जो हम चला रहे थे different campaigns, lead generation. So
Right.
one of a really good brand has come to us, and basically we had a really good this thing video call session with them, and they are all
हाँ.
planning to join hands, and like, things will really change after this. So I'll tell you, so why it was really like a big moment from me, because I told you I was a guy who did not even know how to use LinkedIn, and
Right.
I had no idea about the tech part, and I had no about idea about the business, and I don't know, like, today I felt that all those things that I did in my entrepreneur journey, not my job, that
Right.
patient level, learning about the business, then developing a team, and then COVID came, so much of patience. But I knew I went on doing things. I told my team that we just need to keep doing it. So we just kept doing it. And then today, when that thing happened, it was just like, okay, I wanted to laugh, I wanted to smile, but that wasn't coming basically from inside in all these 6 months, because there was always this thing in my mind that 99 I have to make it 100, because just like Dhoni hit the ball out of the park in the World Cup final, but he did not get his bat down जब तक कि वो ball rope के बाहर नहीं चली गई थी. You have to wait for the ball to cross the ropes, and it is just really, it really gets you when these things happen. मतलब ये इतना ज़्यादा motivate कर देते हैं ना कि आप फिर कुछ भी कर सकते हो उसके बाद. So you really wait for these moments, and I hope कि मैं अभी कुछ ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ जो फ्यूचर में ना हो, बट Fingers crossed and good things are happening.
Right. Touchwood, I wish all the best for you. That this deal closes for you and everything good that you're planning for comes your way. I really wish you all the luck listening to this, and I'm really happy for you. And I'm glad that I'm talking to you on the very same day this has happened.
Yeah.
This is again a pleasure talking about that. So yes, with that said, I am sure. Let me see. Yes, I am sure that I am done with my questions, asking you, grilling you completely about your journey and the mindset, which has been really amazing to know how you've picked up everything. Right. So, guys, whosoever has literally stayed this far, this has been by far one of the longest episodes till now. And so this is like Hardik Chauhan with us. And one thing that has been really amazing is the attitude with which Hardik has been following his life and passion, and the curiosity that he wants to learn more, do it, learn it, move to the next level. That is really amazing, and you really got to pick that up. Okay, that is one thing that I would really applaud Hardik for. And the another thing that I would say, that don't be scared. I mean, this is something that you can really pick up, that don't be scared to take a switch, because from Hardik, you can really pick this up, that he has taken up a switch when he really felt that, I guess this is the time. And this feeling that this is the time will only come to you when you know really get into that field and nail it to the bottom, and be observant all around, keep learning, keep looking at it, and then you'll be like, okay, this is now you can move on. And this is where speciality also lies in.
Yeah.
Like, an actor becomes an actor because he doesn't really want to switch something else, and he becomes really good at it. But sometimes maybe a specialty is knowing more, and that is where strategic thinking also starts happening.
Yeah.
And that is where I would just really pick up this very small thing which Hardik said right now. He has this, his wife and the sister-in-law, they had the skills to back them up. But what really matters is they know the know-how, but they can't do it because they need to run the show now. They're
Yeah.
not on the execution part. So this is, I think you can really pick up from Hardik in terms of the business, and how he started up and taken things ahead. And yes, be smart, so, and be talkative, talk a lot, be cheerful always, like him. Okay, he's been really excited during the whole conversation, and I really like that. Okay, so yes, with that said, guys, this has been Hardik. So if you're in Agra, in Delhi, or anywhere, and you want to get some digital marketing done, so yes, you know whom to contact.
It's
Okay,
anywhere in the world, by the way, because it's all on
right,
my laptop.
right. Right, that's what I'm saying. Anywhere in the world, you know whom to contact. Right. And okay, I know you guys have stuck up with me for so long. Before I really end it, Hardik, uh, any tips that you want to give to the entrepreneurs?
Just be patient. Always step back and see the wider picture, and always have this inside you that yes, you'll do it, and it will happen.
Great. Nice. Right. So there's the tips that really came from Hardik. Quick, small, sweet, lovely tip. Okay, and be patient in that case. And yes, there's this last thing that we do, Hardik, before we end the show. We ask our guests to recommend us another entrepreneur whom you think has an amazing journey, and we can bring him or her on the show and talk about it. So, whom would you recommend?
So I would recommend uh, again an entrepreneur who has a really interesting story, and I know it because she's my wife and her sister. So they
Okay.
have a really peculiar story of how two sisters from different fields came together and started a business. So I would love people to know about it.
Definitely. In that case, next time this podcast is gonna happen, guys, samajh jana. Beside the wife, Hardik would be sitting there. Okay, I'll let you know when Malika's Malika, right? If I'm not wrong with the
Yeah,
name,
yeah.
Malika's podcast comes out. Okay, so just imagine Hardik is there listening to everything.
If everything's coming good about me, it's because I'm sitting there.
Right? So samajh jana. So yes. With that said, we are at the end of the podcast, and I don't know why, but I really want to tell you guys. So, guys, this podcast is being recorded at night. Okay, and so I want to say that Hardik, thank you so much for actually taking out time and coming on the show.
It
It's
was,
been really fun
it was
talking to
super
you.
fun, yeah.
Right, and I really wish to see you soon. And thanks a lot for taking out time. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you so much, Hardik. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
I hope that you're able to take back something insightful from this podcast and apply it in your life to be a better version of yourself and add to your Dhandho Soch. If you know someone whom you think should feature on my podcast and has a very inspiring entrepreneurial journey, then do drop me a DM on my Instagram SarthakVarshney. Sarthak Varshney. Yeah, that's me. I'm the founder of SV Clicks, and SV Clicks is the producer of this show. You can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn as well with the same name. If you're willing to listen to more of such unheard, inspiring stories of the entrepreneurs, then don't forget to follow us by pressing that follow button on your podcast screen. Thank you for being such an amazing audience. Keep learning, keep growing. We'll be back soon. See ya.